Hi, BYU Public Speaking. It's Will Cush. So for my special occasion speech, I am actually going to do kind of a sample high school commencement speech. I guess I always assume or hope that someday I'll be important enough to be asked to speak at something like that, so I figured this would be a good chance to practice. So I'm gonna give a sample high school commencement speech for my high school, and I gave a year of 2030 because I'm hoping I'm doing a little better career-wise then and maybe on the path. So, here we go. Dear graduating class of Redlands High School 2030, today I have somehow been endowed with the responsibility and absolute privilege of welcoming you into a family that I also call my own. I say somehow because there was a younger version of myself that once existed who would never have imagined giving a commencement speech at my former high school. Instead, my younger self was worried about what he considered more important things, like graduation parties, staying in contact with certain friends and girls, and eventually having enough money to sustain a decent weekend life. You know, the important things. As I aged, I suppose some of the most significant things that changed were in fact what I wanted, my wants. Um, I realized that some of the things I once held important before weren't as important as I once thought, and that some of the pursuits I actually once found boring, such as career stability, investing my time intelligently, working on my speaking abilities, these things actually became very dear to me and significant in my life. No one should leave here today dreading the things ahead. I believe some of the keys to success are meeting new challenges with optimism and a full head of steam. I do not mean to insinuate that your pursuits will eventually become boring as you age. In fact, I have found things to be quite the opposite. However, I do believe it is necessary in our lives to reminisce on how we ourselves have changed. I'm sure no one in this audience is the same person today as they were as a freshman, entering this school with wide eyes and hope for the years to come. Instead, I expect that when you look back at the years you spent here, you come to the realization that through the good times and the bad, as a person you grew. And that's not something to be taken for granted or lightly. As a young man here at Redlands High School, I grew leaps and bounds, and I believe the extent of the school's contribution to my life wasn't fully realized until some time after I left it. At the time of my graduation, I was just so happy to be through with classes. I had a lot of fun burning my notebooks and probably breaking some EPA laws in the meantime, and I desperately tried to clear my head of the academia that had been shoved down my throat. There were things that I was definitely more than happy to leave behind. But there were also other things, like the tree I ate lunch under for 4 years, the patch of cement where I asked a girl to what would be my first actual date. It wasn't hers by any means. The yearbook room in which we would procrastinate by playing N64, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Bros. It took me a lot of time to realize how much I would grow to miss those things and appreciate what exactly they meant to me. And more importantly, all of those memories of the things I miss most came hand in hand with the memory of one particular thing, just my friends. It's interesting watching your friends change and grow as the years go by. Their wants change just like yours do. They become involved with new interests and hobbies. But the one thing that I can say remained consistent amongst my friends was our desire to remain friends. Obviously, some people I see more than others. Some old friends I have more in common with. Some old friends I even like more than I like some others. But an element of consistency that I found comforting is the fact that the friends I made at Redlands High School felt bound together by something that was more important than just us. And as sappy or corny as it may sound, I really believe that that is because our school represents a very real family. Coming here and speaking to you all means something to me that I ask you only to imagine. I fully recognize that very few people in this audience feel a personal connection with me. While I have achieved success in my field that is beyond what I once imagined, I'm not on TV, and I'm not a billionaire or a public figure. I don't have my face on magazine covers. I imagine if anyone knows who I am or knew who I was beforehand, it was because they Googled my name after knowing that I was speaking at this event. But I would like to embark upon you the idea that I do feel a personal connection to all of you. And I would like you to imagine a future day in which you yourselves are older and wiser, and you much better have been wiser. You have more responsibilities and you have more places to be. And I would like you to think about the meaning of this place, this school, and what it will be to you then. For no matter what has changed in my life, every time I come back and smell the orange blossoms, I know that this is a place that I truly call my home. You too have the responsibility and absolute privilege of calling Redlands High School home, and I ask that as you grow to achieve great things far away from here, you remember that you will always have a home and a family here under the orange trees. Thank you very much, and congratulations.